Remember me when I'm gone away, gone far away into the silent land. Those words from one of Christina Rossetti's poems remind us of the importance of memories, especially our memories of someone after they have passed away. And remembering is one of the reasons for us being here this morning. We've gathered for a few minutes to remember and celebrate Stephen Mullen's life. Good morning, everybody. My name's Sam Hanna. I'm an independent celebrant. And it's my privilege to lead this celebration of Stephen's life. And speaking on behalf of his wife, Teresa, and all of his wider family, I'd like to offer everyone a warm welcome and thank you for coming to pay your respects this morning as we celebrate a life well lived. I'm going to begin by taking a brief look back over Stephen's life before reading some family tributes. Stephen Paul Mullen was born on the 29th of May 1960, the youngest of Lily and Leslie Mullen's 4 children, and he's survived by his brother and sisters, David, Barbara and Heather. Brought up initially in Belfast, Stephen went to Suffolk Primary School. Then, when the family moved to Hillsborough, he continued his education at Lisnagarvey High School. On leaving school, Stephen had a couple of short-term jobs before becoming an apprentice plumber. Then later he joined the prison service, and as he wanted to move to the North Coast, he took a job at McGilligan Prison. And since no plumbers were needed there, he became a prison officer, a job he continued to do until his retirement around 12 years ago. It was back in 1993 that Stephen met Teresa McCartney at Kelly's in Portrush. The relationship began, and they married on the 12th of October 1997. Married life began living at Glendew Crescent in Mount Sandal before the couple moved to 10 Somerset Crescent. Stephen always had an active lifestyle. He played golf, although as he said, he played very badly. He and Teresa enjoyed cycling and walking, something often combined with holidays. For over 30 years, there were 2 holidays a year in Turkey where the couple had their own bikes to go out cycling. Stephen's walking often involved a dog. Not just his own dog, but dogs belonging to friends and neighbours were often walked on the riverside path along the Bann. Indeed, a number of the comments on the Facebook notice of Stephen's death are from people who met him regularly on these walks, and they mentioned that he was always happy to stop for a chat. Music was always important in Stephen's life, especially traditional music. Over the years, he and Teresa went to many concerts together, and Teresa even persuaded him to go to a David Essex concert in Belfast just before last Christmas. And she also succeeded in getting to listen to a favourite of hers, André Rieu. A few years ago, Stephen got to see one of his idols, Paul Simon, at a concert in Belfast. And the most recent concert he went to was the High Kings performing at the Millennium Theatre several weeks ago. Stephen was always close to his family, especially his mother and father. And after his father's death, he travelled up to visit his mother frequently. And now a short tribute from Stephen's sister, Barbara, and family. Stephen, you were always our strong, calm, and collected brother and uncle, especially on Alison's wedding day, being our rock when emotions were running high. Always up for a laugh, a free spirit, and enjoying life to the full. He was always the funny, calm, collected one that didn't hold back. He loved people. He loved connections. He loved his holidays and getting a tan. He loved Turkey and the Turkish people. Everyone who met Stephen loved him because he had a warm way about him. He loved all his nieces and nephews and was proud of us and our achievements. Sleep tight, our darling brother and uncle. Always loved, forever missed, never forgotten. Love from Barbara, Herbie, Louise, and Alison. And Stephen's brother, David, has written a short tribute, which I'll read on his behalf. There was just over 7 years between Stephen and me. As we were growing up, me approaching my teens, and he with his runny nose and barely out of nappies, Mother would ask me, "Where are you going?" And before I could even answer, she would say, "Take him with you." I was smart enough even then to know that this was not a suggestion. This was a direction. So off we trotted. My mates all loved him, and of course he had his uses. If the football got stuck in a tree, Stephen was volunteered to climb up and fetch it. Or if we needed someone to bang on a neighbour's door while the rest of us hid and giggled, you've guessed it, Stephen was the chosen one. He probably learned from them far more than any kid of 10 years should know or be exposed to. As the years passed, that gulf in years between us didn't matter anymore. I remember I bought him his first pint as he turned 18, although saying it was his first pint might be stretching the truth a bit too far. Over the years we shared many a pint together, both home and abroad, and some of the antics we got up to shall remain a closely guarded secret for eternity. Despite his great upbringing, and we tried our best to bring him up properly, both Father and I were shocked when he decided to follow a team from the blue side of Manchester. I think Father truly believed there was only one team in Manchester at the time. And Stephen enjoyed many trips to see his beloved Manchester City at the Etihad. He never failed to ring me on these occasions, or sent me a photo of him with 70,000 supporters sitting around him. Or maybe it was only 30,000, it's hard to tell. Stephen has two families. His parental family, of course, me, Barbara, Heather, cousins, nieces and nephews. But he also has his adopted family here in Coleraine. Too many names to mention. Most of you, Gail and I have met. Some only briefly, others we have enjoyed your company both home and abroad. All of you were part of his life. His Coleraine family have their names etched on my memory, and I know that you will be there to hold Teresa's hand in the years to come. They were inseparable as a couple, Stephen and Teresa. When he called me, it was always we, never I. We are doing this or doing that. Cards at Paddy's, dinner at Angie's, trips to the port on our bikes. They were always together. Then there were the four amigos, Stephen, Davy, Paddy and Peter. You guys were lucky to have my wee brother as a friend, and he was lucky to have you as his buddies. You left us too soon, Stephen. I miss you. Night night, wee brother. I'll see you on the other side. And by the way, that you're around. David mentioned Stephen's love of Manchester City. Nigel, the neighbour living behind Stephen and Teresa, is a Man United fan. So on Derby Day, Stephen had his Man City flag out the back to taunt Nigel. Mind you, Nigel always gave as good as he got. As Teresa says, Stephen passed away with Manchester City, still champions. So let's take a few moments to listen to the city anthem, Blue Moon.
Bom 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 dang a dang dang ding a dong ding blue moon blue moon dip 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 blue moon moon blue moon dip 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 blue moon moon blue moon dip 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 bom 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 dang a dang dang ding a dong ding blue moon blue moon you saw me standing alone without a dream in my heart. Dang 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 ding and all ding blue moon you knew just what I was there for. You heard me say a prayer for someone I really knew. And then dang, ding and on ding blue. Dang, 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 ding and on ding blue moon.
Now Teresa would like to say a few words.
First of all, I would just like to thank everyone who's here today. I knew it would be a big turnout, but I wasn't expecting it quite like this. I want to thank all the medical staff that looked after Stephen over the last 1.5 years, Laurel House and Antrim, the oncology team, Hazel, our Mullen nurse, and all the staff in Altnagalvin, Leah from the hospice team and the radiology team in Altnagalvin Hospital, who worked so arduously to try and keep Stephen. Also everyone who supported Stephen and I over the last 1.5 years at home, all our friends, family, neighbours, you all know who you are. Especially Stephen's siblings, Brother David, Barbara, Heather, who continually kept contact with Stephen, enjoyed all your telephone calls, that you continued as much as possible. And I can't not speak about Waggy Tails, because Stephen had so many little dogs that he walked and adored. Some are already over the Rainbow Bridge, but they're waiting on him. And that's Basil, Rosie, Alfie, and our best friend Bailey. So Stephen, just run on the meadows, have fun with them, and do not worry, the little dogs that are still here that he loves so dearly, I will be talking to them every day. Stephen will not be forgotten about. And that is Poppy, Zoe, Riley, Sam, Max, Kobe, Socky, and Daisy, his precious Daisy, he called his Royal Highness. Also, I will continue to support and cheer on his adored Manchester City. And my voice will be loud enough for both of us. And as Mr. Hannah said, just remember that you have gone to sleep knowing that they are still the true champions. And one thing that Stephen said to me not so long ago, he said, Teresa, anybody that gives you any banter, gives you a hard time, because City are slightly going down this year, he said, you just tell them whenever they have won 4 successful years as champions, come and talk to me. So Nigel and Alan, wherever you are, I see Nigel, so beware, he has me warned. So I just want to end really with a little something I want to say for Stephen. The Lord saw you getting tired. A cure was not to be. So he put his arms, he put his arms around you and whispered, come to me. With tearful eyes, I watched you suffer and saw you fade away. Although I loved you dearly, I could not make you stay. A golden heart stopped beating, a beautiful smile at rest. God broke my heart to prove to me he only takes the best. It's lonesome here without you. I missed you so each day. My life isn't the same since you went away. When days are sad and lonely and everything goes wrong, I seem to hear you whisper, cheer up and carry on. Each time I see your picture, you seem to smile and say, don't cry, I'm in God's keep and we'll meet again someday. I will love you forever, Stephen. Sleep tight, my darling.
Thanks, Teresa. And having heard something about Stephen's life, we'll now pause for a few moments of reflection to allow each of you to remember him and remember the love, laughter and friendship he brought into your lives over the years. This will also be an opportunity for any of you to offer a silent prayer for him.
Steal away, let's steal away. No reason left to stay. For me and you, let's start anew. And darling, steal away. Steal away, let's steal away. No reason left to stay. For me and you, let's start anew. Darling, steal away. Let's steal away and chase out the rain and hope they'll never find us. The weary days, the empty nights, we leave them all behind us. Steal away, let's steal away. No reason left to stay. For me and you, let's start anew. And darling, steal away. We leave behind the empty streets, the gloom and desolation, the rain, the cold, just growing old. God knows it's a hard old station. Steal away, let's steal away. No reason left to stay. For me and you, let's start anew. And darling, steal away. We leave with just our memories, and we'll make a new beginning. For we have to choose to win or lose, and it's time we started winning. Steal away, steal away. No reason left to stay. For me and you, let's start anew. And darling, steal away. Steal away, let's steal away. No reason left to stay. For me and you, let's start anew. And darling, steal away.
Stephen Mullen was a kind, considerate and thoughtful man who was always happy to help others. Although it must be said that when Manchester City were playing, the kind, considerate and thoughtful side of Stephen tended to disappear rapidly. For all of us, life is a journey through from our birth until our death. The length of that journey varies, but now Stephen's journey has been completed. So later, at 2 o'clock, you're welcome to join the family at Antrim Newton Abbey Crematorium, where there'll be a short service of committal. After the committal, you'll all be very welcome to join the family at the Lodge Hotel back here in Coleraine. Light refreshments will be available, and this will be a great opportunity to share your memories of life with Stephen. If you aren't going to the crematorium, you'll be welcome to join Teresa and the family at the hotel shortly after 4 o'clock. And to bring this part of our service to an end, I'll finish with a short poem called Remember Me. Don't remember me with sadness. Don't remember me with tears. Remember all the laughter we've shared throughout the years. Now I am contented that my life, it was worthwhile, knowing that as I passed along the way, I made somebody smile. When you're walking down the street and you've got me on your mind, I'm walking in your footsteps, only half a step behind. So please don't be unhappy just because I'm out of sight. Remember that I'm with you each morning, noon, and night. Would the congregation please stand?